I think it's working. Hopefully we're working. What's happening, Feastin' friends? Welcome to another episode. Somebody comment and let me know that we're live. At the beginning of every live, I always say I want somebody to let me know because I don't want to be rambling on for I don't know how long. And then somebody texts me and be like, hey, Debo, it's not working 15 minutes in. I think we're working. I see people showing up. Do we see anybody saying, yes, it's working? We can hear you. We are live. Got it. Cool. Well, what's happening, Feastin' friends? Welcome to another episode. Happy 4th of July. Randall, happy July 4th. How are you, sir?
I'm kind of plum tuckered. I was just telling you before we started here, my shoulder is really kind of just bugging me. It's like, it's crazy when you have a broomstick and then you have like a nicer rod. Just how much the broomstick kicks your butt.
Yeah, especially a heavy rod. Like, I kind of chuckle at that because, you know, I have some musky combos and like you throw those things and it's a whole different realm. But I mean, there is, you know, some bass combos that I have that are the same way, like pretty heavy, pretty big. So I get it. Mine. Especially what we were doing. It's different. Like if we're on a boat and we're just like spot casting or flipping and pitching to like short targets.
Oh,
but, yeah. Randall and I went out today and we were trying to frog for the last, I don't know, a couple hours and trying to kick it out there as far as we could. Huck could do it. And that definitely wears on your shoulder and elbows.
Insanity.
So, Feastin' friends, I'm excited to be here. Thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your 4th of July weekend. I know there's barbecuing and grilling and having beverages and hanging out with family, but I still want to do a live tonight. So, for all you awesome people that are watching, I've got a couple different giveaways. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this. I know one I'm going to do for anybody who donates, and that's not to say, oh, well, if you want to win it, you have to pay money. No, it's because people who donate, I want to give back to those people specifically. So, I'm going to have one giveaway that's only for anybody who donates. I'm going to pick a random winner, and I've got actually 4 lures. So the other 2, you might hear it clicking back there. I might need to go turn that off. Can you hear that back there rattling, clicking? No? Okay. I've got them on a lure turner, so it's like a barbecue spit. So after you paint the epoxy on these things, they turn on a deal so the epoxy doesn't lump up. But these are 2 that I got done. So we're going 4th of July theme. This is like a reverse flame perch patriotic spook up top. Can't see it, but it does have some iridescence on the bottom. And then this is an old Bill Lewis popper style that I found. Pretty cool. I forget what that's called, but you got your stars. Those aren't actually stars. They're like kind of oblong spots, but I don't have a star thing. Stars and stripes. And then I've got a couple others that are kind of random. So I've got 4 baits in total. One of them I'm going to try to fish tomorrow. I'm going to try to fish in the morning. I've got to go help my grandpa do some stuff and then mow and all that and then try to get back and upload a video. I don't know if it's going to work, but one of them I'm going to keep for myself. So I think what I'll do is somebody who donates is going to get 2 of them. And then I'm also going to pick one random winner. You don't have to do anything. Randall and I will pick a winner here later on and you will get one. And I might throw in a couple of my baits and stuff, some plastics and stuff that I have over here. So just to say thank you to you all. We've already got 120 people in here 3 minutes in. Like, that blows my mind. Y'all are awesome. So, Randall, what's the deal? Tonight we're talking about bank fishing. Randy and I fished earlier today. We're like, what, should we do a live? Yeah, we're going to do a live. What, should we do like outside fireworks fishing? No, we probably shouldn't do that. So we just said, let's just talk bank fishing. I feel like bank anglers don't get enough love, and we do a lot of bank fishing. We are not pros by any means, but we're happy to share anything we know. So,
is there a pro bank series?
Probably not. However, you could be a professional who is not doing like a pro tournament and you're actually bank fishing. You know what I mean? Like if Bill Dance went bank fishing, he'd be a pro, but he was bank fishing. See what
I know there's that Tuesday night tournament around here, and I'm just ignoring you. And they allow guys to go in on their kayaks. So traditionally, it's boaters.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
They let kayaks in, so that is pretty.
That's
cool.
Awesome, dude. The kayak scene has blown up in the last I don't know how many years. All right, what do we got? Let's see who we have in here. I did see my boy Fat Boy Fishing in here. My guy Nick, he was just on last time. Super good dude. Thanks for always supporting us, Nick. How long do you guys fish a spot from the bank before you head out? This is a question that I get all the time. All the time. I don't have like a golden rule. So usually I would say we would spend what, maybe a half hour at a spot. And if we haven't got anything, we're probably booking it.
Well, as in a spot, you find a little bit of weeds that's already been like tramped down, and you go in there and hit that. Yeah, I mean,
Like
if
weeds or a
nothing's
jetty or something. I'm not talking about like an actual pond or lake, like just a
yeah.
single spot. I would say like maybe a half hour.
Yeah, depending on the size, if it's, kind of like one of the jetties that we hit today, that is really, it's a bigger jetty and it's got, the sides of it have really good shore access from the jetty to cast all the way down. I'll spend a little bit more time there, but traditionally, yeah, it's if there's no bites, I'm gonna, kind of turn and burn as quick as possible.
Yeah, yeah, and it just depends. Like if it's a spot where historically I've had really good luck there and it still looks really good now, I'll definitely spend more time there. But if it's a spot that's like completely random, I've never been there, I've fished it for 20 minutes, half hour, and I don't see life. I don't see like bluegill moving around. I haven't had any sort of bites. I'm probably moving on within 20 minutes or so. So it just kind of depends. And it's like if you're in the cursed frog spot where like we were in a spot today where we hit it the last spot, and I literally could have stayed out there all night. And like, because I finally got a fish, I caught like, I don't know, maybe a 2-pounder. And then probably 45 minutes later, I caught a pounder. And like, it was just super slow. Within like 2.5 hours, I only caught 2 fish. We got a bunch of donations coming. Holy cow.
I don't want to talk about tonight, so or today.
Randy caught a big old stinky pike. I had to take it off his hook for him.
Brand new Spro frog. Like literally, I tied it on when we got to this spot. First time I tied it on all day long. Throw it, and basically I guess the left eye is basically detached. Yeah, I threw some mended on it, and we'll see how it goes. But
this guy doesn't.
Well, it's gonna take a few coats. It's pretty bad.
We've got more Mendit and Frog Talk coming soon. Randy's got a pretty cool frog thing that I've never seen. We'll check that out. Randy and Lori Arnberg, I've been enjoying watching your videos since I saw you on Burley Fishing Thursday. Thank you. Well, Randy and Lori, whoever's watching, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that. Burley is an awesome guy. I'm glad that we can share some subscribed fishing friends back and forth. John Giuliani, and whoever is donating, feel free to leave a question. I always make sure anybody who donates, I get to that question specifically, call it out. John, thank you very much for donating. Ask a question if you have one. I'll try to go find it here in just a second. A leather stocking angler with a donation. Thank you very much. Same thing. If you have a question, please leave it. I would be happy to answer any questions. Billy Knowles with the donation with the big old 10 bomb. Billy, thank you very much. I appreciate all of you dropping the donations. Let's see. We had another couple come in. Al, is it Kavanaugh? Thank you very much for the donation. I think the last one is our guy Nick. Nick said he's been saving up his saving his allowance so he could donate. This is for Dizzle's Mendit fetish. Dude, we talked about it today. Randy's like, how much Mendit have you used out of your bottle? We got talking about Mendit. It comes up like all the time now. I don't know why. He does have a Mendit fetish. So how much Mendit have you used? Are you a Mendit aficionado? I'm like, I don't know. I've used a decent amount. He's like, not as much as me in my bottle. I'm like, okay.
It's kind of hard to tell. Let's see. Can you see? I mean, it's like a fifth, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Fifth of the bottle.
That was new a couple weeks ago.
Man, I tell you what, for as many pike as I run into up here, like fishing frogs, and frogs aren't cheap, man. You spend $10 on a frog. Like today, I don't know what the Spros run, and I'm looking for it. I have no idea where it is. It put so much mended on it, it probably stuck to the wall somewhere. But you want to try to preserve those as much as possible. And Debo, we talked recently, and I'm trying to throw legs on frogs now, because I totally don't buy them, but I found so many lunker hunts with those silly legs on them, the legs, and I'm trying to put skirts on there, and I think we came to the conclusion today that probably a little too many strands of the skirt. So once we get done with this, I'm going to try to throw a couple more
Yeah,
together.
we need to do a video of that again. We need to do a whole frog thing and talk about some of that. That'd be fun. Let's get to some questions. We're through all the donations. I'm going to try to go back. Of course, I can't get every question. I'm sorry. Like, the questions come through way too quick. I try to scroll back, and I can't read every single one. We have a bunch of awesome people in here commenting, which I love. It just makes it hard when there's questions. So I try to go through, get all the questions I can. No Breaks 23 did say, does a bank angler equal bankler or a bangler? It's a good question. I would like to be. Which one, G or K?
G.
Oh, see, I like the K. I feel like I'm like I should wear like a tux with the little things on it. A bankler, like I'm a banker. No? Okay, tough crowd. Let's move on. Living life outdoors. Chris, was somebody asking? I think somebody was asking about poison ivy. I see there's some talk about it.
Yeah, I did see that. I'll just say real quick while you're looking for it.
Yeah.
You've pointed it out probably 1,000 times, and I really still don't even know what it looks like. And I've really only gotten it like twice in my life, so I think I'm like 50% immune to it, maybe. I don't know.
So, okay, so whoever was asking about the poison ivy, do you walk through it? What do you do? I don't know what the question was. I hate poison ivy. I do walk through it. The biggest thing with poison ivy is to use dial soap and use a wash rag. There's a certain time limit because, like, when you rub up against poison ivy, it's like an oil. So if you take like actual like vegetable oil or olive oil and rub it on your skin, that's what it's like. Obviously not that thick. You can't see it, but that's what it's like. It's like an oil on your skin. So when you get home, take an actual wash rag with Dawn dish soap. Is it Dawn or Dial? Whatever whatever the stuff is that they use to like clean oil animals, like when they fall in oil, whatever that is.
When oil spills on the ducks, yes.
Yes.
Dawn.
Yes. Dawn. Okay, that stuff on a wash rag and actually scrub your skin. And if you do that, you will not get it. I always do it as soon as I get home. There's a certain time limit before it like kicks in. I don't know what it is. You have to look that up, but I promise you, if you do that and actually scrub, because I used to get home and just like, kind of wash with my hands and like get the water on me and be like, okay, I'm good. I'd still get poison ivy. If you actually scrub with the wash rag with that Dawn soap, money. Certain amount of time, though, I can't tell you what the amount of time would be, but yeah. Billy Knowles said, I just found your channel through Alex Rudd. Great channel, Debo. Where are you located? Billy, thank you. Alex Rudd has an awesome channel. I see there's a couple other YouTubers in here. Alex Rudd, Ben Nowak, they're like best buddies. Go check out their YouTube channels. A couple great guys. They have a ton of knowledge, way more knowledgeable than I am on stuff. And they're good guys, and they help people learn. So I appreciate that. I see Fishing the Southeast is in here. Fishing the Southeast is one of the luckiest SOBs I know. He wins on my channel and Burley's channel every other week. I still owe him a box of stuff. Actually, did I get that out to you? I think I got that out to you, man. Fishing with Gramps is in here. He has a YouTube channel, a veteran himself. Gramps, you're a good guy. Thanks for always supporting. And as we go through, I'll try to call out anybody else I can. Like I said, a bunch of stuff coming through. We are located in Iowa. I'm in southeastern-ish central Iowa. Randall's about an hour north of me. So we're Iowa boys holding it down. If there's any Nebraska folks in here, Wisconsin folks in here, I'll block you. Kidding, I won't. But, I mean, Iowa's a Hawkeye state, so sorry if you don't like the Hawks.
Hey, real quick, while we're looking through things, you probably can't see. Wait.
Oh, hold on. How do I do it? Here.
Yeah, do the thing.
Boom.
Okay.
Hold it back. That's too close. There you go.
That eye, I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah, right behind the eye, there's a huge hole ripped in it.
Like the whole thing is just ripped off. And like I said, this was a brand new Spro frog today. And he wanted it. He really, really, really wanted this frog. Like when he got pulled out of the water.
Just hopped in, Randy caught a one pike on that. It was probably what, 30-incher maybe? A little less than that.
Yeah,
25, 30 inch.
I thought it was so much bigger when it came through the lily pads, but yeah.
Yeah, one pike on it roasted that. There was a big gash hole in the side of it, and that's what he's referring to there. We did get a couple other donations coming. Let's get to the donations, and then we'll come back to questions. And Randy, if you see any questions, mark them. We'll try to get back to them. Let's see. I think Chris is the next one in line, if I remember correctly. Fat Boy, Nick, thank you for yours. Okay, so Christopher just dropped a donation and said, thanks for the tips and tricks. Well, Christopher, thanks for the donation. You will be added in. So anybody that's just jumping into the live stream, I'm doing a couple giveaways because it is 4th of July. I painted up some special lures. These two, and there's actually 2 more on the Turner drying. So I'm doing 2 separate giveaways. Anybody who donates is going to be entered in. You get to pick your first 2. And then I'm also going to pick another winner. You don't have to donate. You're going to win as well. You'll get one of the lures, and then I'm going to throw in some other plastics and stuff here that I have, crankbaits, who knows what, and hook you up. And whoever wins, too, on the donation, I'll throw in some extra stuff, too. I appreciate you all.
That popper isn't showing up as well when you hold 2 of them side by side, but that looks amazing. When you hold that solo one up, those, like, I don't know what you called them, stars, specks, whatever you want to call them. I think that looks awesome.
And I did one side like more red and then one side more blue. So that's like the real blue side. And then I did one side like real red. I might grab the other 2 here in just a second so you can see, but they're still kind of tacky. So I can't like touch them once you put the epoxy on. I've got them on a lure turner is what I was saying earlier. So they're turning to dry the epoxy. I'll go grab them here in a little bit, but Mac Flanagan with the donation. Thank you, sir. Rapid fire this or that. Okay. Expensive rod versus expensive reel. 90% of the time, I would say expensive rod. The times I would say no is going to be, and I guess that depends. Randy's shaking his head, and I should say it depends on what we're talking about for expensive versus not expensive. So if we're talking like, I feel like $100 price points like my budget-ish, and I know that's not like budget, quote unquote, but like if I get $100 reel and then like a $500 rod, most of the time I would go with an expensive rod, because for most things, you know, jigs, Texas rigs, anything like that, the rod's going to play more of a role. However, if you're saying like a cheap reel, so like a $30, $40 reel that's all graphite, that's a different story, because most of the $100 reels have an aluminum frame. So maybe I'm reading into it too much. I don't know. Randall, what's yours? This or that? Expensive rod or expensive reel? Which are you going?
I'm going reel, just because I could deal with. So just like today, I told you, like the majority of casting I did today was literally with just like a big old broomstick. Yeah. And I had a comparable, I think it's probably budget range. The Abu, the white Abu frog rod, that's probably $100-ish range, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And the other one was like $70, something like that, 65, 99, whatever. And I would cast that Veritas all day long over that broomstick. I was just like, it's so crazy. I almost refer to it or kind of equate it to like shooting a gun. Like you get a really, really heavy gun and there's no recoil when you shoot it, versus something that's super light and you're really kind of feeling it. That's definitely how it was today with the Veritas. It was effortless. I could wing it out there. The reel on that one, it's kind of, you know, counterproductive here, but it's not that expensive either. It was, you know, the one store up in Okoboji, but like I would way rather cast. God, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going rod. I'm going rod. I totally talked myself out of it just thinking about it.
You just went full circle here. 15 minutes later, Randall went for full circle. Geez. The choice should be kilt, Randy. Kilt. Treble hook baits versus single hook baits. I would say single hook baits for sure. Just for the ways and spots we fish. So I'm thinking like a Texas rig, something like that. Swim jig. Or a jig. Yeah. Treble hook baits are fun, but man, like we fish so many grassy lakes around here just out of being able to fish them more. Single hook baits. Dirty water versus. Yeah, we fished a lot of scummy vegetation-y stuff today. Dirty water versus clear water, without a doubt, dirty water. I hate clear water. Hate it.
Again, today well, I mean, the last place that we went to, that was super clear, but it had all the cover, the pads, the scum, stuff like that. So I'm still going dirty water on that one.
Yep. Honey hole versus 1 PB bass. So I'm guessing he's saying in the honey hole you're going to catch a bunch of fish versus 1 PB. It depends. This question I always chuckle at because it's a good question. And usually my answer is going to be like honey hole and numbers versus a PB, but it depends on how much we're talking. So my PB is like 7 pounds. If we're talking a 10 pounder, there's no way I'm going to catch a 10 pounder in Iowa. It's very unlikely, right? I should say. I think our state record is 10 pounds, 12 ounces, right? Something like that. Yeah, it's close to an 11, but still, like, it's very unlikely that I'm going to catch a 10 pounder here. So if the new PB is 10 pounds, yes, because that's going to be a fish of a lifetime for me. I know some people, you know, in Texas and Florida and all these places can count how many double digits they catch a year. It's not me. It's not likely here. So depends on what we're talking, but most of the time I'm a numbers guy. If I can catch a bunch of 1.5 pound, 2 pounders all day, I would rather have consistent action all day than catch one big fish. That's just me.
Same, hands down. And, you know, for me, I mean, I'm not quite at the Debo level on the PB scale, but the same thing. If it's double digit PB, like doubling my old PB, hands down, I would take out one fish and literally grind. Honestly, we grinded all day today, and I caught one fish.
Yeah,
and it was
same. I caught 2 all day. We grinded. Yeah. Wood versus grass versus rock, for sure. Find wood, pitch to wood. I love fishing wood. Grass is fun too. Like grass, you can throw the frog. So it depends. If I only had to pick one, I'd probably say wood. I like fishing submerged or exposed wood. I love it a lot.
Rock.
I knew you were going to say rock. Throwing a jig on rock.
Jig on rock, but I also banging a square bill off a rock.
That is fun too. We don't get to do that enough. Like I said, so many places around here get grass and vegetation quick. So
you don't ever want to go out to the river.
River's super low around here now. I don't even know if it would work.
Right,
Mac, that was fun, dude. That was a lot of fun. I like the this or that. Mm-hmm. Vince with the 20 bomb says Dizzle's kilt fund. I saw a couple stand up. Can you guys hear that? There's some sort of alarm going off upstairs. Hold on. Dizzle, we'll get to the next question. I'm going to figure out what this is. Eric with the donation did well throwing a drop shot last week using the missile baits bomb shot. Oh, okay. Yep. What's your favorite drop shot baits? Dizzle, favorite drop shot baits. Go. I'm going to figure out what this alarm is and if there's not a fire or something.
Right. Let's hope. So drop shot. Honestly, I'm not really big on a drop shot, but I'm going to go some sort of, I'm going to want to say like a paddle tail type of lure, whether it be, you know, obviously super, super small, but something to, you know, imitate a minnow or a shad or, you know, something little like that. I haven't really tried, and that was honestly one of my goals for this year, was to get into the drop shot a little bit more. I really debated it today. It was between drop shot and a Nico, and I went the Nico route. But honestly, it's going to be, you know, some sort of very small, not paddle tail's the wrong word for it, but, you know, some sort of minnow imitation type of bait. I know back in the day they used to have the Berkeley live lures? They came in a bucket of sauce. I don't remember exactly what they were, but they had like little like minnows.
Sauce.
Do you know what I'm talking about? The sauce buckets.
Gulp. I was like the gulp things.
Gulp
I know the ones you're talking about. Yeah, Gulp Alives.
Yeah. So something, you know, kind of similar to that.
Yeah, my favorite has been kind of like a thick worm. The KVD Dream Shot. Is it the Dream Shot? Oh, it might not be the Dream Shot. It's whatever the worm is that's kind of elongated. It might not be. Let me double check on that. Some sort of worm, or I'm trying to think, what else was the day that we had really good? Like a Zoom Finesse worm, whatever the small, basically a worm. I am not a drop shot guy, Eric. I'm so sorry. I feel bad when I get these questions. I don't have a ton of confidence in the drop shot the way and spots we fish here. A couple, was it 2 years ago? I gave it a chance and actually caught quite a few fish on it that year. Didn't really throw it at all last year. I have not even touched it yet this year, but some sort of worm. I'm trying to think any other things like a wacky. I've only tried the wacky drop shot once, but some sort of worm for me is like the best. Let me show these real quick. They're still kind of tacky. So these are the other two in case you were looking to get in on the win-ins. I painted up a couple. So the first one was supposed to be like an American Arctic.
Do one at a time if you could. There you go. Yeah, I like that.
There's that guy. There we go. Focus.
Oh yeah.
And this is a
That's
popper. Nice. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's supposed to look like old Glory's stars and stripes and such there. He kind of looked kind of candy caney. But yeah, we got the little plopper, the 75. I've got one of these. This is a replica of the Mega Bass. It's not the actual Mega Bass blank. Whoops, there we go. But whatever that walking bait is, they're pretty sweet lures. I like these a lot. There you go. Those are the other two. Let me go put these back since they're still tagging. Randall, talk about something fun.
Yeah. So the other funny thing is you know, as Debo holds up the plopper, I think we talked about this maybe last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever, a couple times back. Like the popper and baits in general are just so cyclical. They are gonna come and they're gonna go. It feels like, especially with the plopper, there was a couple years back where we used it, and then, you know, the year after didn't use it that much. And, you know, this year I threw the plopper on once, and, you know, it's kind of a combination of the water level being so low and everything around here just being, you know, unable to throw the plopper. But it's just weird how they, you know, those kind of baits come and go. So
okay, so we got my guy Great Bad in here. He is always supporting. Thomas Palmer is in here. Randall Pink Floyd, who I was just talking to beforehand. Fishing with Gramps is answering the Dawn dish soap question. That's how far behind I am, guys. That's what I mean. I'm sorry. Cricket Trail Chronicles was talking about Don. He is always in here too. Thank you, man. William Sully. Yep, Leaves of 3. Let him be. We're back talking about poison ivy stuff. Good golly, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's ivy.
Let's see. Fat Boy Fishing with the donation said if you get poison ivy, just pee on it. I believe that's a jellyfish.
That's a jellyfish, and I also believe that that's fake.
Yeah, I think if a jellyfish stings, you don't pee on it. Unless it was Randy, then I'd still just pee on him just because. I wouldn't do that, Randall. I'm sorry.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Okay, moving on. Let's see. Oh, here's one. Fish in the Southeast, like I said. He has a YouTube channel, always in here supporting. Let's see. So Fishing the SLS is the best budget bait caster for the money. So he was answering, at EB Fishing. I get that question a lot. I think the SLX is definitely one of the best budget bait casters. And again, it's at that $99, $100 price point. It does have internal centrifugal brakes. So I know for a lot of beginners, I feel like that's harder. And I've talked to people that say they feel like it's harder to set up a reel with internal brakes like that, as opposed to just to, like, say the Lose LFS with just the external magnetic brakes. So I know everybody's different, but that's always the one thing I say. If you're not super comfortable with a bait caster, I would take that into consideration. But it does cast nice, and the SLX is smooth.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. While you're taking your sip, I know a couple of people have asked questions about my beard. Yes, I actually use product sometimes when I'm trying to get all fancy. And somebody asked me how long I was growing it. I don't remember the last time I was clean shaved. So
yeah, I look ridiculously stupid. I don't have like an extremely prominent chin, so I look like a dummy. Like I'm always like, when I don't have a beard. I wish I had like a big chin with like the butt chin. I feel like that's a manly man if you have that. I feel like I need a butt chin.
I think
when we first serious.
No. I think what you have, like, just like it's not even like chin.
I had chin straps when we first met.
Oh yes, that's what it was. I mean, who didn't though? I mean,
yeah, they were big then. That would have been like 03. Chin straps were in there.
Early aughts. So yeah. I mean,
Amy Ganshert with the donation said, appreciate your learning videos. Just started fishing and love your tips. Wisconsin neighbor. Oh, well, you're welcome for the tips. I'm sorry you're in Wisconsin. Not a Badger fan, but I still appreciate Amy. It looks like you have a cute Boston there. I like Bostons.
Samson.
How do I even say this? Jamfish Taco with the donation. Thank you very much for the 20 bomb. I appreciate that a ton. My go-to lake has become lowest and dirtiest I've ever seen. Welcome to here. Same. All of our places are the lowest. We were low on rain last year, and I think I just read we were 8. That was before all the rain. 8 inches below already this year. So high pressure water, usually smash them with jigs, but lately nothing or a few bites. Any tips? I don't know where you're at. I'm guessing your water temps are probably close to the same as ours. So if your water temps are up in the 80s, 90s, I mean, we've been in the 90 water temps. Fish are going to move out. A lot of the fish are going to move out to deeper water, deeper holes. Depends on how big the place is you're fishing. Some of the fish are still going to be up shallow, like the place that Randy and I fished today. I mean, the deepest spot in that's got to be like what, 6-8 feet. You know, some of those small are pretty shallow. So deep is relative to the spot, right? You might talk to somebody up in, you talk to Ben Nowak fishing up in Michigan, and his, him or like my guy Bass Geek, their deep is like 50 feet. Like I'm not messing with anything 50 feet deep.
What do you even do?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you do with your hands when you're out there?
Right.
So it's relative to the place. I would say look for cooler water. So if you have anywhere where like a stream comes in or any sort of like drainage deal, anything that's going to churn the water, make it more oxygenated and make it cooler. Or if it's if you have a lake that's not super like vegetation-y, like you don't have a bunch of grass and stuff growing, if you find that spot where you've got a lot of good green healthy grass, that's going to be more oxygenated and that's going to hold more fish. So I would say look for cooler water, look for deeper water, or look for places that have good green living grass. People say find the grass, find the bass. And it's hard because like Randy and I fished a place today that's literally all vegetation. So, that doesn't always apply everywhere either, because you're like, there's grass everywhere. Why aren't I catching fish? And like, sometimes it's your retrieve. Like Randy was talking about his retrieve when he was getting blowups. I noticed all mine were on the edges of like thick pads. So it made like more of a canopy over the fish, both my blowups. So yeah, hopefully that helps.
The only other thing I would say on that is like, those overhangs. I know the first place we stopped today, I had to, like, I was casting it and I got lucky a couple of times where it's funny to say I got lucky, but I sailed it into the vegetation on the shore. And so I just, barely tick, 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 tick and pulled it off of the shore. So like a frog or something would actually get into the water, I guess. And just hanging just right there on the shore. And I have to assume it was nothing more than 4 or 5 inches right there. And I got bites there. Obviously, I don't know how to catch frogfish. That's my kryptonite this year. But overhangs and things like that. And if they're not getting it deep, I would try to get it as close to the shore, if not like ridiculously on the shore, and kind of pull it back and kind of fish it from the shore, if that makes sense.
Yeah, especially the dirtier the water you have, a lot of times the shallower they'll tend to be. They'll push up into a foot of water, like if it's really dirty, muddy. And like Randy was saying, those overhangs. So obviously as the sun goes up, like today it was a crappy day, like 0 clouds in the sky, high pressure day. Looking for any sort of overhangs that are going to create like shade for those fish to be in, because they're not just going to be out in the middle of the water baking in the sun. Getting out early morning, late at night, and then as that sun's coming up, you're going to have one side of the lake that's still shadowed or covered longer than the other. The side where the sun's rising, that side's going to have your shade line, darker water, shadowed water. I don't know what you call it, but longer than the other side that's already getting hit by the sun. So think about that too as you're going around.
Yep.
Let's see. I think there was a couple other donations, and we're going to get to some questions. David with the donation. Thank you very much, David. I appreciate that a ton. Oh, damn it. It just rolled all the way down again. I am so behind in comments. Guys and gals, thank you so much for sticking with me. I am way, way, way behind. I'm sorry. Okay, so David, I got his. David, thank you very much, sir. And if you have a question, ask it. I will try to get to it. Doug Stubbs, yo, fish and friends. One dink, one bream, one catfish today. Almost the hat trick. Really wanted the crappie. He was going for the species hat trick there. Doug, thank you so much for the donation. Doug is a good supporter of the channel. I appreciate you, my friend. Was there one more after Doug?
That he brings up catfish, because at the one of the lakes we stopped at, I have to assume the catfish were spawning, because I don't know when catfish spawn. I'm not a big catfisherman, but these things were stuck just like on the shore, like nosing into the rocks and things like that. They had to have been spawning, right?
I guess, yeah. I would assume catfish spawn a little bit later. I honestly don't know. I don't know catfish spawning habits. Bayou Burner called out that a walking bait that I was showing the Mega Bass replica is the Dog X. That's right. Bayou, thank you very much, good sir. What else? Popper looks like, oh my God, Randall Pink Floyd says the popper looks like a baby white bass. Yeah, kind of, maybe. I don't know that they have the red on them that much, do they? Kind of iridescent looking. Randizzle. Oh, Nikhil, Mr. Phelan was asking about the beard oil. Oh, Randall's beard oil. Jesse Smith, favorite rod sleeves. Do you use real covers? Also, would you do an update video on your painting setup? Okay, Jesse, I do use rod covers. I've actually got some. I haven't done the unboxing. Hold on.
I need a couple of those. They seem to go missing. Just FYI, if you lose one or you can't find one, like check underneath your seat as best as possible in your vehicle. That's where mine usually end up going. But Debo, I'm gonna need a couple of those.
Okay, so I have gone with the rod glove on most of mine, or like the tackle warehouse stuff. So the rod glove I was running for a long time. The rod glove is cool because they come without the thing. Now, I am a huge proponent of making sure they have the elastic deal on them. And what the rod glove does is on some of them, I don't like it because the elastic thing isn't long enough. The rod glove has a deal that you clip on here, and it's like a big piece of elastic or like stretchy stuff that you hook around your like your reel handle. So they have it. So if you want it, you can put it on. If you don't want it, you can take it off. They have those that you can buy. So Rod Glove makes good stuff. Theirs, I actually talked to him and got hooked up with some DEBO'S specials. That's coming in an unboxing soon. But otherwise, like the Tackle Warehouse ones, I might order from there. They've got theirs pretty
jacket. Stick jacket. Rod jacket, stick jacket.
Oh, let me show you what I'm talking about.
While he goes and does that. There's the Lose. The Lose was the first one that I actually really liked. It had the elastic bit, and then it's got the Velcro around the bottom too. So if you want to do the elastic, you can do that, or you can do the just the Velcro around it, so it's not going to slide up. The one I will say that I got a couple of them, and I really dislike them, were the Berkeleys. They're not as much as a sleeve like you would think, but it does have, which I was really excited about, was that little rod cover, or excuse me, not the rod cover, but the bait keeper, bait holder, whatever you want to call them, the little plastic thing with the Velcro on it. That was included in that, but honestly, I just ran into problems with those, the Berkeleys, where the hooks were just digging into the material way too much, and I haven't gone back to those yet. So,
yeah. The Berkeley flatworm, funny enough, this is actually a drop shot that I have tied on this rig. Berkeley flatworm's another good one if you can find them. People rave about those. I got a couple. Anyway, this is the Tackle Warehouse rod sleeve, and you can see it's not long enough, right? It's not long enough to actually reach. This is the spinning one. This is the only one I've had troubles with, but it's got this elastic deal. You have to really pull it down to actually get it on there, but make sure if you get a rod sleeve, they have something like this. That's why I was saying I like the rod gloves, because it has a clip-on thing and it's like adjustable. So for how long you want it, you don't ever run into that problem. If you have one that doesn't have this, like when I'm taking stuff in and out of the truck or in and out of the back of my like SUV that I had before, when you pull them out, these things will just pull off. So if they
What are
have the
those
elastic
little?
deal on them,
What are the little? I
they
know
just
is
stick on
Berkeley
like that so
made
they can't come off.
the little red thing with the circle or the
Yeah, it
novule.
was like a Berkeley line tie holder. Basically, it was just like a round ball thing that I got from, you can get them at like Shields or wherever. It was like a round ball thing you just wrap around and tighten it. It had like elastic on it.
Mm-hmm.
I use those too if your rod gloves don't have the elastic deal. Another good one is 6 cents. I will show real quick because this is like a super long rod. This is a swim bait rod. I forget how long this thing is. Super long, but show this. So the 6 cents is like a neoprene, which is really nice because like none of the eyelets on your rod or anything will ever go through it.
Poke through.
Yeah, and oh gosh, the deal here is elastic and it's adjustable with one of these things like that you have on your backpack. You know, when you're a kid, you press it and like you can slide it to different lengths. Yeah, like a toggle deal. So you can slide that, so that way you can just hook this around it and make sure your rod sleeve doesn't come off. I'm a huge proponent of using rod sleeves. They protect your line guides, your tip when you put them in. Reel covers I don't use. However, I noticed from having my reels in the back of my truck, I have a number of scuffed up, scraped up reels. And I wasn't used to that because my SUV, I had them like angled in from the back. So I like would just pull them out of the back and they were just literally like on the floorboards of my passenger side. But now that I keep them in the back of my truck, like my new Zillion that I got, kind of expensive reel, all scratched up, which to me, it's not a huge deal. Like I'm going to use them anyway. Like they don't need to be perfect. But if you're somebody who like you might sell it or something, that's something to think about. So
do you remember those days, like getting into my truck pre-Havids, and like I know I've gotten a few pictures of it where we have had probably 30 rods in the back of my truck, and they're all just like
we didn't have
X through,
30.
and
We have maybe like 20 at most, 15.
Okay.
Anyway, yes, I do remember that. So that's one thing to think about. Lay a towel down or something. An updated video on my painting setup. I am going to do more painting stuff here. I've got some painting stuff, some fun news to talk about soon. So I will be doing more painting stuff. I wish I had a way. Like that's what sucks about YouTube is like, you know, obviously my fishing stuff, you know, going out and fishing, gear reviews, unboxings, that stuff does really good. But like the painting videos don't get near amount of views because, you know, it's a much more condensed, you know, audience. So I wish there was like a different way I could do that. If you guys and gals have any sort of ideas on what I can do to make those painting videos more fun, let me know. I would be happy to listen. But I am going to be doing more of those, and I figure I'm just going to bust my butt and do extra videos. So I try to do 3 videos a week. If I'm doing a painting video, it's just going to be an extra. So it'll be 4 videos a week plus my live. So I'm going to give back because I love the painting and try to help. I'm not a pro, but I do want to do some more of those.
Hey, Debo, go find the question from Bassless Chap.
What time was it?
That was one of the, it's like brand new. It's the 4th from most recent.
Oh, hold on. We got to give a big thanks to my guy, Nick Costa. So Nick is the dude that hooked me up with some reels, gave me a good price on those. Randy's actually using the SLX DC.
Nick, you're the man.
I'm using the Scorpion. Yeah, Nick, good dude. Him and his buddy were selling some reels. They gave me a very fair price, so I appreciate those guys a ton. And what was it? Bassless Chaps. Are you just saying that so I have to read it? Is this it?
It's a good. I would like to know what your thoughts on that is.
Would you rather use 50-pound angry fish braid or a rod missing the front guide?
It's one of those either ors.
I don't know what angry fish braid is.
It's probably. I don't know if it makes you angry or the fish angry. Somebody's getting angry, and it's. I would
rather use some random braid, and not a rod missing the front guide. Because if it's missing the front guide, it's going to be potentially on sharp stainless steel, and you're probably going to scratch up your line really quick. So I would go with.
Hey, how was that one random braid that you picked up doing you?
Junk. The Dominate stuff from Amazon. Garbage. I didn't like it. I had
the Power Pro for blah blah blah.
Oh, fine. Yeah, I had a break off today. However, that was a clean cut. That was either I set the hook super hard on either a snapping turtle or a pike, and it cut it. So I can't fault that line. It was way out there. It wasn't anything close to the rod or anything.
Okay. Sorry.
My lure turner's squeaking back there. Okay, let's get to some more fishing questions. What do y'all have for fishing questions? People have probably been asking them. I'm so sorry. Let's get back and try to get some good stuff. Dave Washburn's talking about shady wind-blown banks with overhangs early in the morning or close to dark. So I think he was answering that question about fishing a spot. I forget who answered that or asked that, but let's see. What else do we have? Randall, what do you got? Randall, okay, so before we get into more questions, Randall had a frog hack to show.
Before you do that, let me jump in this real quick. This is that braid I told you I picked up. It's
Yozuri Super Braid.
The Yozuri Super Braid. The craziest thing about this is that the dark green. If you were to look at my spool right now, you'd be like, dude, what are you doing with braid that has been on that spool for 50 years? It has lost its color. It almost seems like not frayed, but
I still haven't found a braid
loosened
that doesn't fade. Like, it's gonna fade. Whether it's in your first outing or whether it's in the first week, they all fade. I still have not found one that doesn't fade. So bring up my
OG Power Pro.
Still fades. OG Power Pro still fades.
Okay.
Maybe not as quick, maybe not in one outing, but still fades.
Yeah, that's
anyway, show us your frog hack. So Randall and I were talking frogs after he got done pitching me on Mend It, and I said, Randy, I've already got Mend It. You don't need to sell it to me. He's like, oh, okay, sorry.
So I mean, I'm really big into like finding a tote to fit whatever I need. So in the back seat of my truck, I have like a 20-gallon tote that I just throw all my stuff in there. So I got money bags that are just filled with like plastics. I got a couple of hard cases or hard boxes that have, hard baits in them. But then I started thinking about my frogs or, top water poppers, not poppers, but any top water soft body baits. And what I had was, just a regular sized tote, and I was just dunking my hand in there all willy nilly and, paying the price every once in a while with, getting a hook into my finger. So what I was thinking is somewhere, and if I saw this somewhere, it was, I don't know where I saw it, but I'm fairly certain I came up with it myself. So I took a piece of styrofoam, like something that you get like a new TV, the one that would go up against the front of the screen. So maybe ½ inch, a quarter of an inch thick. So approximately that thick. And what I did is I cut it. Okay. So about yay thick, and I cut it into strips, and I shoved the hooks into the top of it. And so I have, I don't know, realistically I probably have 10-15 of these little strips with anywhere from 5 to 6 frogs or popping frogs or whatever you want to say, all in there, and I can just grab in there and not have to worry about catching a hook in my finger. But like I said, I kind of took a look at the frog. So if we're looking at this, I kind of thought, well, I need a piece of styrofoam at least yay deep. And if it's a little bit deeper, that's going to work too. And what I did is, like I said, cut it into strips, and I just started throwing all of my frogs on there. I think it's awesome. It's pretty redneck engineering, I guess you would say. But I'm not going to get any hooks on my fingers as long as I keep up on it. That's personally my biggest thing is, keeping up on that kind of stuff. But I even took one and started throwing buzz baits in it as well, because that little tote's got, top water stuff, and buzz baits are top water. So
I like it. Thanks,
patent pending.
Patent pending. Dizzle frog storage. Man, I've been reading through. There's a ton of good questions. I saw my guy Tackle Junkie Jim's in the house. Jim just rubbed in my face that he was catching some good fish the other day. Hey, that's nice of you to send me text messages, Jim, about the good fish you're catching and still not formally invite me out. But I mean, that's fine. That's cool. Still love you, brother. Yeah, myself and Dizzle.
Oh, I just needed to grab a.
Okay, let me see. So I had a number of questions I was rolling through. People talking about like the lure and jig stuff. I am going to keep doing those. Somebody else was asking about if you have to pay shipping, like on the winning stuff. No, I don't ever make anybody pay shipping on my giveaway stuff if you win a lure or whatnot. So don't worry about that. I had somebody ask that a number of times. Otherwise, let's just run through. Okay, so Jesse said you could maybe do a paint and catch challenge where you weight a lure in the video and you catch bass on them. Just an idea. So I think he meant like you paint it and then take it out in the same video and go catch something on it. So like a marling baits one day. Funny enough, I've got something for that planned, and you just might see marling baits on it. It'll be pretty funny. I'll say that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, dun, dun, dun. I saw another one talking about Marling. Marling's a super good guy. Very, very, very talented at the bait making.
He was. We ran into him that one day out at that lake, and I'd never met him, and I've seen a couple of his videos, and it's super cool dude. He like pulled up, and I'm like, who is this behind us? Like just creeping up in this truck, but like I said, yeah, super cool dude.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I've had people like when they meet me, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe like you actually stopped to talk to me." Or I'm like, I'm about as regular as you can get of a guy. Same thing for Marling. Marling is just another dude. So it's funny that like people see us and like I don't think I'm a celebrity or anything like that, but people are like, oh, I can't believe you talked to me. Like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm just some guy out fishing like you. So I don't know. It's kind of funny. So Kyle asks, when do you use a flipping hook versus an EWG hook? Kyle, a lot of that is going to be on personal preference. So there's some guys that will say only use a flipping hook because you're going to have a lot better hookup ratio. Like a flipping hook is like just a regular J hook, so it's got the straight shank
Worm
and then
like
like a big oversized worm hook versus the EWG hook has that little piece and then it's got a belly, and then the hook point is in line with the eye of the hook. So though it makes it really easy to rig it weedless, people say you don't get as good of a hookup ratio. I use EWG 90% of the time. I personally don't have issues with them fishing from the bank. I feel like it's a lot easier to keep them weedless. And I personally don't notice an issue with the hookup ratio. There's some guys that will tell you the opposite, say don't ever use EWG, only use flip and hook, to get a better hookup ratio. It depends. I'm an EWG guy. Yeah, there's an EWG hook. Yep.
For the longest time, I was 100% EWG. I wasn't ever I didn't buy any worm hooks whatsoever. And if somebody tried to give them to me, I'd be like, thank you. That's nice of you. I don't want those. But then, I kind of go back and forth. And honestly, it's the bait, like Debo said. If it's something like a weightless Senko, I'm probably gonna throw a flipping or just like a J hook. If it's something more like I throw a lot of those paddle tail frog, or not paddle tail frogs, but like a rage frog or something like that. I throw them on this. Yeah. And I think they work out a lot better just because of the way that it lines up the hook point with the eye. So
yep, I like the EWG. Fat Boy, so Nick threw down the gauntlet. I'm posting until you click it. If 10 more people donate to Debo on here, I'll send him 5 of my custom jigs for the giveaway. Ooh. Okay, I'll throw down the gauntlet. What time is it? It is, oh my gosh, we're at 53 minutes already? I had no idea we
were that work.
I was going to say like we're close to a half hour. Holy crap. Okay, so we had 1 donation past Nick's. If we get 9 more donations in the next, I don't know how long we'll go. Probably an hour and a half is usually how long we'll go. If we get 9 more donations, I'll throw in another custom lure of the winner's choice. How about that? Plus Nick's 5 jigs. Okay.
4 jigs. I think he said 4 jigs, right?
I think he said 5. I don't know. I'll have him do 5. 10? 10 jigs? Okay, Clean Concepts. Why is it that I got more bites on straight fluorocarbon than I do on braid to a fluorocarbon leader? That's a good question, man. I can't answer that. So I'm in there's like, I feel like a couple schools of thought, like the people that feel that line doesn't matter and they'll fish braid anytime and say, dude, fish don't care about line color, fish braid, it's more sensitive. Then there's the folks that say fish can see line color, use fluorocarbon, it's harder to see underwater. I'm in that camp. I try to go fluorocarbon if I can. I go braid on topwater stuff, but I personally don't go braid to a leader. But I can't answer that. I know kind of Randy's on the opposite end. He'll just go straight braid. It really depends on how dirty the water is. Like if you've got really dirty, muddy water, you can get away with straight braid. You know, if it's like a natural color, like a green or something like Randy was talking about. Versus if you're in really clear water. If you talk to any of the guys up north in Michigan, Ben Nowak, go ask him. They're trying to go with as light a line, as small a line as they can get away with some sort of fluorocarbon leader, because they'll tell you those smallies are line shy. And like you'll hear guys like Aaron Martins talking about, you know, going down to an 8 pound, 6 pound, even a 5 pound. I forget who it is, has like a 5 pound leader. He's like, dude, I get way more bites on that leader than I do, you know, if I were fishing an 8 pound fluorocarbon leader. So it depends, you know, how serious you are into it, how clean your water, you know, how clear your water is. But I personally just like fluorocarbon better. If I can get away with it, I feel a lot more confident in it. I was going to say comfortable, confident. I feel a lot more confident in it. So it depends. I see a bunch of donations coming in. We threw down the gauntlet and the folks answered. By golly, I'm going to have to throw in some extra stuff. If we end up getting 9 more. Kyle said, thanks for the answer. Love your channel. Kyle, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate you. Randy and Lori again, what line to use on casting reel versus spinning reel? So for me, all spinning reels, I'm braid to a leader, like braid to a fluorocarbon leader, just because braid casts so much easier. It's thin, it's light, a very small diameter, and then I go with the fluorocarbon leader, again, because of the whole line shy thing. So when I was talking about only fluorocarbon, I'm sorry, before I was talking about my bait casters. On my bait casters, I don't ever go like braid to a fluorocarbon leader. I try to go fluorocarbon as much as I can. Spinning rigs is a different thing. Spinning rigs, I always go braid to a leader. I know, Randy, you're a little bit different.
Yeah, totally. And honestly, I don't know as if it's a preference thing. The other night, I was retying leader onto my spinning rod, and I think I tried tying it 6 different times with my double uni. And every time I tried to pull that thing tight, one of the lines would slip out from the other. So there's obviously a way that you have to tie it, like one over the top versus the other over the top to cinch it down and whatever. But I think, this sounds bad, I'm just kind of lazy when it comes to fishing. I just want to tie something on and get back out there and just fish. And if that means I'm not gonna,
that's why I hate fishing the drop shot, dude. I hate having to retie a hook, having to get the right leader length, having to get my weight. I get that, dude. I completely get it.
Yeah, like a Nico, I was throwing that today, and like I broke off, and I was like, well, not gonna throw that anymore because that had a Nico weight and this and that, and nope. Simple is better.
Holy crap, we had a bunch of donations coming out. I was kind of joking. I didn't think we were going to get that many coming in. Damn. Nick, I'm going to put you in charge of watching the donations. If we hit it, let me know. I will throw in something extra. If we get a whole bunch, holy crap, we got a big donation came in. My goodness. So hopefully that helps you all on the spinning versus casting. Again, Doug Stubbs with the donation. Doug, you are too kind to us, damn it. Thank you so much. White Hawk Outdoors. Hey, Debo and Dizzle, what's the best way to detect bites on jigs? Do either of you slack or tight line it when you set? I'll let Randy answer because he has been the jig fishing aficionado. Randy, what do you think? What's the best way to detect bites on jigs?
Unfortunately, there's no good answer. Specifically today, when we were out frog fishing at the first place we stopped.
Give me a couple examples, though. When you detect bites, what do you think is the most important?
The most important, I feel, like a tight line. The majority of the time, when I come into like a slackline bite, that's the bite where they pick it up and just grab it, and you're like, oh, why is my line moving? Versus a peck, 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 or that big, bite on there. Traditionally the last two are with like a tight line. Slack line, really, you're going to run into slack line where you're, on the fall, where they're catching it halfway down and something just feels a little bit different, or it's kind of spongy, or different is just going to be the answer on that one. So unfortunately, there's no good answer to it. The majority, I think, of my jig bites, though, are probably going to be on a tight line versus a slack line, or that in between median. So a little bit more slack than what tight is. Terrible answer, but there's
I know what you're saying. So I completely agree with Randy. The biggest thing when you're flipping and pitching it out there, if you think of a tree, and like a lot of new people, why is this opposite? Here we go. If you think of a tree and you flip a jig out there, if you flip it and it lands here, like you're trying to get it next to this tree, and if you flip it and it hits the water and then you engage your reel, it's going to pendulum away. So like if you're trying to hit the fish down here and you flip it here and click your reel over, it's going to swing away. So the first thing I would say is always slack line when it's first falling. So like that initial pitch or that initial cast, always let it fall on slack line. So the line's drooped, you haven't necessarily engaged.
I like to pull a little bit of line out at the same time.
Yep. You'll see guys pulling out some, like on the pros, you'll think, God, are they backlashing every single time? Nope. Usually they're letting out a little bit of line so that jig can fall without being messed up, slack line falling down doing its thing. And like Randy was talking about, the two big things to watch with that is as you flip it out there, watch your line. So as your line's going, you might see it start to kick to the side a little bit, reel up the slack and set the hook. Or if you're flipping and pitching, like I notice it more when I'm going around to the boat more because it's more of a consistent like depth. If I'm flipping and pitching, it takes 5 seconds for it to get down there, and I'm waiting, 5 seconds. I get to a spot where I'm kind of sitting there 1, 2, and I see like my line stop. I would reel up and check it because more than likely you've had a fish hit it on the way down. And like Randy was saying, it'll feel different. So it'll feel like heavy, or it'll feel just like kind of mushy. It's hard to explain, but something different, right? Anything kind of different in.
Yeah, it's like you're when you pull your rig or your jig through, you can feel different things. You can feel grass because that's kind of grabbing your line before it grabs onto the jig head. You can feel rocks because that sensation almost goes through the jig head, through the line into your handle. You can feel wood because it's kind of like a dead, just kind of boof. And then there's that different, that it's kind of weird to say, but that meaty kind of feeling. That's how I describe it to a lot of people. It's like, I don't know, it feels like you're, shoving a fork into a piece of meat, as bad as that sounds, but it's just that little bit of difference,
It feels weird. And like one thing I can tell beginners is because I struggle with that a lot. Like when I was learning to fish a Texas rig specifically, like my old man is a wizard with a Texas rig, tequila sunrise, power bait worm. And when I was younger, he would, he was flipping and pitching like standing timber. A lot of the places we fished had that, and he'd be dragging a worm. And I couldn't tell the bottom, like if I was hitting a rock or a tree or a fish, and I couldn't tell those bites. So like one thing he told me was to just throw it up shallow and like look at your lure. And like feel it, like close your eyes and feel it as you're going over a rock. Okay, that's what a rock feels like. Drag it over some logs. Okay, that's what a log feels like. And then as you get used to it, you can feel like as you're going over stuff, oh yeah, it's just that, or oh, this feels different, like that's a fish. So a lot of it's just going to be time on the water, and there's not a grand answer, but hopefully that helps, White Hawk.
I do love those. The fish grabs a hold of it and swims off, and that just that big, just meaty hook sets.
Just make sure you're watching your line. Doug with the donation. Thank you, sir. Sweet Boys Outdoors. What's your suggestion? What's your suggestion if my go-to lures, Texas rig, craws, or jigs aren't getting hit? Fishing rivers from the bank. It is flooded bad in Michigan right now. Man, I'm not a huge river guy. I would say look for the slack water, which you're probably already doing if you fish rivers a lot.
Those eddies.
Yep. If you're already throwing a Texas rig or a jig and you're not getting hit, I would say, so it depends on the river. Like some of the rivers Randy and I fish are looking for riprap where there's like contour and material changes. I don't know how to say that. So like we've got a spot where it goes from really chunk rock to like kind of a hole with sand. So like anywhere you can see where like there's a transition, I guess is probably the word, transition banks or transition areas where it goes from like really big rock to like pebbly rock or sand, like fish will sit on the edge of that. Or if you've got a spot that has a whole bunch of timber and then it goes into like a little bit of grass or rock, try to hit those spots. And I would say even like looking up, like we were talking about earlier, looking for those spots where you've got not only that, but like shade lines, any sort of thing that's different than the rest of the river. If you're just flipping and pitching, you know, wood or whatever in your river, look for stuff that's completely different. Try to get on a completely different bite.
That's a you know, good rule of thumb as far as honestly any fishing goes, regardless of what kind of water you're fishing in, just to look for that little bit of different, you know.
Yep. Something different.
Always good to look for something different, especially one thing I've noticed on rivers specifically is, you know, those little fingerlings, the little creeks that go off, and not going, you know, just all the way in and fishing the creek both sides, but hitting that, you know, that little bit of, you know, opening and exiting, I guess, of the water going in and out of that creek as well. Those are the big things that I've found that have worked out pretty well for me.
Yep. Dirty, is it Dersh? Dirty Dersh Fishing? Big Deebs and Randley. Mr. Randley. I'm a big fan of y'all. To simplify a wake bait. Okay, so he's a wake bait guy. To simplify a wake bait, just think of it as a top water. So fish it super slow at the surface of the water. A wake bait is my favorite nighttime bait. Yeah. Dude, thank you. I appreciate the donation a ton. Wake baits, I do not have confidence in them. I've had a number of people tell me that. Just think of them as a top water. So maybe we need to throw those in place of top water sometime and just try to get some bites. Because like for me, I'm throwing a top water. I'm either getting bites or I'm not. I'm switching to something subsurface. Like there's never a time where I'm like, oh, this would be perfect weight bait, you know, conditions. So
right. I know. Honestly, I just gotta say that idea and that concept of night fishing top water, you can't see anything and you're relying just on your hear. I got the chills when you read that. Just I remember throwing a buzzbait on top and you hear that clack 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 and then poof. Oh,
jitterbug.
I'm going
Jitterbug
fishing when we get done.
You're all excited now. So Dirty Dersh, thank you so much for the donation, man. That is awesome. Holy smokes, you guys have blown it away tonight. Tyler with the donation, Tyler Hardiman, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you. We had Ethan with the donation, $5. My goodness, you guys are too damn kind to me. I think Nick said we hit it somewhere in here. He messaged me. William Sully again with the donation. Some groups suggest using barbless hooks. Thoughts on using them versus barbed concerning harming the fish, hookup ratio, and fish tossing the hook. Yeah, I've heard like there's some places you can only use barbless hooks. I believe some states even have that. Maybe I'm wrong.
What's the professional fisherman? It's not
Jimmy Houston.
Jimmy Houston. He's got a slew of lakes. And he has people, I've seen a bunch of his videos where people come down and I don't know if it's
the one with LFG or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the state requirement or specifically it's his requirement, but it's barbless. You can't use anything barbed. And to me, that's just like something that we kind of deal with already because, you know, fishing, you know, topwater frogs specifically, you're going to blow up their mouth from time to time, and you're going to get that basically the same thing as what you would get with a barbless hook. So it's crazy to think of, and I don't like it. It's great for the fish, but
yeah, it's good. It's better for the fish. Like, dude, fishing is such a weird thing. Like, I haven't fully wrapped my head around it because, like, at the root of it, it's really weird. Like if somebody asked me to go do some sport where I take hooks and shove them in something's face and reel it in, like I would never do that with a dog. Like if anybody did that with a dog, like I would beat them to a pulp. But yet we go out and do that with like fishing. Like I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know the answer. You know, some people say, Debo, you're handling that fish too rudely, or you threw it back. I'm like, you know, listen, strangely enough, I just violently set that hook into that fish's face. And like tossing it back in gently is the least of its concern. I don't know. I know barbless hooks are definitely better on the fish. Specifically, I think for fish that are a little bit more finicky or not as hardy. So like trout fishing, for example. Last year I did trout fishing with barbless hooks, and yeah, they come just right out. Like it's like a needle, right? So it comes right out. You don't have to worry about the barb. It just pops right out. Hookup ratio wasn't as good, I felt, but yeah, definitely better on the fish. So like something like a bass, like they're super, super hardy, you know? I don't know the answer.
They're going to get away. That's their whole goal. That's the big jump that everybody loves. That jump is to toss it. Toss it and, well, to use their fin to flip me off as they do it. But
they do that. Yes, they do use their fin and flip you off. Let's see. So I think are we through all the donations? We smashed the donation thing tonight. I will be throwing in some extra stuff. I have no idea how we're going to pick winners. Let's pick winners. So if there's people hanging around looking for a giveaway and you don't want to stand for an hour and a half, let's do that. Randy, do you have any way of picking? Do you have a question? I'm going to go bring up my YouTube live thing and see everybody who donated tonight.
I was
see
just
if I can
looking
pick a
through
donation winner.
To see if there was
and then
anything.
We need to pick just a random winner, somebody who didn't donate. You don't have to specifically donate to win, but like I said, I'm doing 2 giveaways. So let me see. For the live.
Jeez. Dude, I don't even know how to even go about doing that.
Think of a question. I'm going to go through and pick our winner real quick on everybody who donated. I'm going to do a random.
Ooh.
And Fat Boy, you can't win. I know you did donate, but you don't count. So if you need a lure, let me know. I will hook you up. But you don't count in this random giveaway.
So we should do just like I say, oh, here's the question, and the first one to answer it gets a blah, blah, blah.
Yep. Pick a question, read it off right now. Yep. I'm going to do a random thing on the people who donated. Pick a question, say it, and then the first. So we'll do it. The first comment that you see that's correct on your screen wins. And I know we'll have people saying, I was first on mine. I'm sorry. I can't handle the internet delay. Whoever shows up on Randy's screen first with the winner wins. So go ahead, Randy. If you think of a question, run it. I'm going to do a random through our super chats right now.
Let's go ahead. Oh man, what should we even? This is difficult because I keep seeing all of these things just roll and roll and roll, and I wanna answer, or I want to ask a question based on that, but then it'll be way too easy. Let's just do this. This should be a super easy question. What is my least favorite fish to catch?
You better be ready.
I'm watching. Black and blue. Pick a number. Pike. Philip Cheek.
Philip Cheek, is it really? If it's Philip Cheek, that doesn't count. I'll hook Philip Cheek up on the side.
It was. Oh man, Pikes galore.
Go after Philip Cheek. Philip Cheek's my buddy. I'll hook him up on the side.
Yeah, I'm way past that, and I can't scroll
up. Was it plum? So I see black and blue fish in the southeast. Philip Cheek, and then plum was the next one on mine after Philip at 8:40. Is that what you all are seeing? I want to make sure we're staying true here, but I saw plum after Philip. Philip, I already owe a bunch of stuff, so he's a huge supporter of the channel. Mr. Philip Cheek is the guy who completely funded the whole Project Blueback. It's a whole video I've got on blueback herring baits. It's an unboxing. It's going to be kind of I don't even know where we're going to go on that video, but he funded all that. He's a great guy, so I'll hook him up separately. He knows I own a bunch of stuff. So plum was the random winner, And then for the, let me go back to my random winner on the donations was, where is it? And I closed it. It was the question on
a sperm whale. That just somebody just posted that on there, and it tickled my fancy.
It was going to be Doug Stubbs. Doug, I already hooked up. Doug, if you need another lure, let me know. I will hook you up separately. He did win the first random thing that I did here. It was the fish taco guy. I don't know where I tried to do a screenshot of it to share it. I don't know if I can do that.
Monkey tacos.
Fish tacos sound amazing right now. Jam Fish Taco was the winner. I tried to do a screenshot. I can't do like a capture. Jam Fish Taco, if you're still on, you are the winner. I'll give you a few days to reach out to me. Hopefully you're still on. Hit me up. You were the donation winner tonight. Jam Fish Taco. Oh, still here. Awesome.
There he is.
So Jam Fish Taco and Plum. So Plum, I see. He said, awesome, I'm still here. Jam Fish Taco is still here. I don't know if I got it. There we go. Both you hit me up on Instagram. Hopefully you have Instagram. If you don't, I will put on DEBO'S at gmail.com.
And I'll just put up there real quick DEBO'S home address too, so that's easy enough.
Yeah, you would. Okay, so both you guys are winners. We're going to go for another 15 minutes. Let's get into questions. Most of the donations are done. Everybody that donated tonight, thank you so damn much. Like, we had a ton of donations tonight. Nick, Fat Boy Fishing was really pushing the donations too. So he'll throw some extra stuff in. I'll throw some extra stuff in. You all did awesome. What a way to go out in fireworks. Pew, 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 pew. Tonight.
I see Chris. This is the third or fourth time I've seen Chris ask.
Chris is an Iowa boy. We need to go meet up with Chris.
What's next on your gear wish list? Anything you plan on picking up soon or having on? I want a boat, but I want Debo to get a boat.
Chris and Fishing the Southeast. So Chris, yeah, I would agree. I want to get a little bit bigger boat. Like, I don't even need a fancy bass boat. I would take like a really nice like John boat that I could even upgrade. And
like
really just
Lund
for like,
or like a Crestline or something, like a deeper V.
Yeah. Something that we could, take out. Both of us get out on the water to fish. My old man's got a deep V that we can take out. It's just, it's 35 minutes away from where I live. So it's like, I have to figure it out either the night before and get it, something I can keep here. The other problem is I have a regular spaced or length garage stall. So I have to find a boat that has a swing tongue. So like the tongue where you hook it onto the truck, like they have a spot where you can like unclip the thing and then the tongue swings back. Because one thing people don't think about is, it's only an 18-foot boat. Like, that's a big boat. But you've got the motor that sticks out the back 3 feet. You've got the tongue in front of the boat that sticks out 3, 4, 5, 6 feet, however how long they are. And I can't fit it.
Angle of your driveway too.
That's not a huge deal. It would go in the garage. I mean, I'm not going to keep I've only got a 2-car garage, and I don't have a spot next to it where I could keep it,
Sounds like somebody's going to have to park their SUV outside.
Yeah, sounds like my old lady's going to have to park outside now. Sounds like we need to move. I want to move out toward the country. Anyway, Chris, yeah, I would agree. I want to pick up like a 2-person boat. Even something where we could bring like subscribers once the Rona and all that calms down. I would love to like bring people out on the boat with me and Randy and hang out and just fish and talk.
They got those John boats with like the huge front deck on them that like I have to assume you could have like a 3 to 16 person sleepover on the front of it.
Maybe I buy a couple of their small John boats and we just chain them all together and we go out fishing. It's like a river float where you tie all your tubes together. Okay, so Chris, otherwise, as far as gear, I actually want to try a cash and rod. I've got one in my cart right now, my tackle warehouse cart. I've had a ton of questions on cash and rods. I've never used one. I guess that would be mine. Randall, what about you?
Obviously a boat is kind of a little bit ridiculous. And honestly, the only thing that I kind of want to get into is more of like a wake bait or like a glide bait, something along those lines. Bigger, kind of profile, hopefully hunting for those bigger fish. I just don't know if that's really feasible right now because everything is so low and I don't even know where I would even start. It's anything that I thought would be good for it is not good right now,
Yeah, we just need to try them. Like, we just need to find spots where we can throw them more and go.
Yeah, it's the finding them is the hard part.
Right. Okay, fishing the Southeast. Favorite Daiwa rod? It would probably have to be the Daiwa Tatula rod. I've got an old one, like one of the old models. It's like a crankbait rod, like a lighter crankbait rod. Love that rod. It wasn't super expensive. I think I got it on sale for like $90. I think regularly those were like 140, 150. Love that rod. Awesome crankbait rod. It's an old one. Nothing fancy. Randall's not a huge Daiwa fan. He doesn't love Daiwa. So here's the funny thing about like being brand brand loyal. So you had a bad experience with like a couple Daiwa spinning reels, old Daiwa spinning reels, right?
Yep. They just I don't know. I'm not even going to say that. It was just the reel themselves. They just didn't work for me. Whatever it was, it didn't produce the way that I thought it should have. And that doesn't mean like I expected when I casted this out to catch a fish on it, but it wasn't producing isn't the right word. It didn't perform the way that it should have. So
yeah, that's the funny thing about like so much fishing stuff. Like I can recommend stuff to people, and that's why I try to tell people to like get stuff in your hand, hold it, because I might I love the Lose LFS. Bottom line, one of the best $99 reels I've ever had. Haven't had issues with mine. You're going to have people that say it's not comfortable. I don't like it. Like whatever it's going to be. So much of it just depends on personal preference, right? Like Daiwa is awesome. I love Daiwa. And 90% of people are probably going to say, Randall, you're wrong. But that's just his opinion. He had a bad experience. I had a bad experience with a spinning reel. I won't name it, talk about it, but had a bad experience with it. And I will never use them ever again. So, that's how it happens. So,
real quick, Curtis Gilly talked about the 13 fishing rods and reels. The thing I have a Concept C that I don't ever use. It's collecting dust downstairs. But the thing I really like, or the idea that I really like about them, is they're 100% customizable. Like any part that you want to, you can, get a new spool. You can get a new, really anything.
The trick shop, they call it, like customization shop.
I think that's really cool.
I think that is neat. It's kind of expensive. That's what sucks about it, is like it's not cheap.
Some
but
of the
kind of
parts
cool if you want
are,
something
but
different.
then some of them aren't. So it's
I agree. I think the customization is kind of cool, especially if like you're only gonna have one. I don't know.
Right.
Chris Hook says coffee scented baits, effective or silly? Dude, I still don't know where I stand on scent. Like, I feel like it can't hurt it if you have like a crawfish or a shad scent. I feel like it can't hurt it, but at the same time, I'm like, you see stuff that has garlic, you see stuff that has like star anise, like that licorice smell, coffee smell. Hands down, I think the Strike King coffee smells the best. I could sit and sniff those bags for
the rage chunk, the rage trailers that I use.
Rage stuff.
I will like turn my back and huff those a little bit while you're not looking.
So I don't know, dude. I don't know the answer to that. There's like the power bait stuff. They say fish bite and hold on 48.764% longer. Hell, I don't know. I'm sure they've done their testing. Some of them I'm sure is marketing, but I don't know.
I mean, the most important thing is whatever you guys do, don't let Debo use any of your Spike It, especially garlic scented, because he's going to hand it back to you. The lid's going to be upside down and not even close to tied on or screwed on, and he's going to dump it all over your hands and be like, why'd you do that to yourself?
I may have spilled Spike It on Randall once or twice. Sorry.
A lot.
Okay, moving on. What else do we have? A Debo tortilla? What is going on? What's going on in chat? Are you all getting crazy? Rent a storage. Yeah, so Nicholas is going back to the whole boat thing. Rent a storage locker, right? Rent a storage garage thing. So my problem with that is I don't want to pay 100 and something extra a month, whatever it may be around here. And it would have to be super close, because if I find a storage place that's on the other side of town, it takes me 15, almost 20 minutes to get to the other side of town. So again, I'm in the same boat where
just go out and buy a boat. I'll store it for you. Don't worry about it. And when you want to fish, just let me know.
Oh, that's nice of you, buddy. Thanks. Thanks, buddy. Let's see. What else do we have? I had a good question saved up here, and then it ran down again. Damn it. Randall Pink Floyd, nice enough to say, I'll mail Randy my float tube. That'd be awesome. I'll just pull Randy behind my John boat in the float tube. You can have some flippers on back there.
Man, if you really think that both of us would like be able to fish out of your John boat, like
we'd
the
be
only
fine
way
in my
that
John boat. It'd be fine.
How many?
Perfect.
What did Hoopa say? We're gonna need a bigger boat.
We're gonna need somebody commented that. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Let's see. So we got. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was Chris talking about the massive piece of gear.
Oh my God, Stephen Elmer. Let's make Randy a boat made out of clamshells and mended. I would trust that.
Dude, that's what we could do. Let's take a screen door and put it on the bottom of a John boat, like the what was that stuff called? The black stuff that you spray? What's it called? Somebody help me out. What's the stuff called? That you spray on?
It's not ShamWow. It's like,
oh my gosh, why can't I not think of it? Somebody's gonna say it here.
They paint it. It's Flex Seal.
Flex Seal, there we go. Yeah. So the commercial where the guy's in the crystal clear water with the boat that has a screen door on the bottom, or like screen stuff, and he puts Flex Seal over it. Let's do a video of that. It'll be totally clickbaity, and it'll be fishing in a boat with mended clamshells. Oh
basically, you just want to see me like jump in the water, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I want to see you jump in and sink. And then I can have a paintball gun and shoot at you while you jump in. That'd be awesome. Oh my gosh. That we might have to see if we can get enough donations next time to do that. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? Let's get a couple more questions. We're almost at an hour and a half. It has been a fun night. Y'all are too damn kind.
You know that Flex Seal guy had to use that stuff's super expensive. That had to have been $987,000.
Wood's super expensive too now. So if he had any sort of wood and Flex Seal on that's probably the cost of a yacht. You could have bought a yacht for the price of his Flex Seal wood boat. Fisherman Kev says, how do you feel about BFS? I've got a BFS reel. It's this Cernoia, whatever it is. It's like the price conscious one you can get off of Amazon. I still haven't used it. I haven't found a good super ultralight casting rod. I haven't wanted to order off of AliExpress or whatever the hell that is. I just don't trust it. I don't know. There's other people that have some. I would use it for inline spinners and stuff, but I don't know. I just feel like an ultralight spinning combo is just as good right now. I haven't used a BFS, so I might be a little bit jaded, but I don't know.
I have no idea what that means. So next.
Okay. Next.
Hey, somebody said, can we paint rods? I don't know if you've seen a whole lot of custom rods and things like that. I used to go down to the state fair every February. They had a fisherman's swap meet down there, and there was always
see the butter cow here in Iowa at the Iowa State Fair. We always have a huge butter cow. It's a cow completely out of butter. You're welcome. Anyway, go ahead.
So this was totally different. That's in the middle of summer. I go to it in February when it's the fisherman's swap meet. Super awesome. I don't even know if they had it last year, but in the past, awesome local stuff. And somebody one of the first booths that you would always come across was somebody that would make custom rods. So they take the blanks and they do whatever you want to it. And like I've seen some pretty cool stuff there, but I don't know. Just like a Debo, like oh, it's backwards. You can't see it right now. But one of the first crankbaits that you had given me, that blue, black,
That was the first one I
purpley.
gave you. Yep.
Yep. I don't want to use that because that's like it is what it is. I'm never going to use it. It's always
Thanks,
going to
man.
be
I
up
appreciate
there. Yeah. And so it's like that's the same thing that I would feel with like one of these rods. If I had the super cool outline, custom, whatever, like I don't want to use that rod
Were they asking
because
if you could actually paint them, or were they asking about custom rods? What was the question?
I think it was something paint rods. I'm not quite sure who it was. I don't even know if that was what they were asking, but that's the route I went down. So
I would say no, you can't paint a rod. The problem with painting a rod is like obviously rods flex. So if you use some sort of acrylic paint
oh
on it,
yeah,
it's just going to crack and chip and peel off.
mend it.
If you painted it and then mended it over it, you'd be fine. Sold. Let's see, what else did we have? Good Lord, this has gone all sorts of off the rails. We're already at an hour and a half. We still have 200 people in here. Y'all are crazy. We love you all though. Let's do a couple more questions. Filth Music. Did I clear your super chat? I'm sorry. Is it still there? I thought I got everybody's. Dang it. Is it still there? Filth Music, what was your question? I am sorry, dude. I thought I got to everybody's. We've kind of been all over the place tonight.
Don't worry, I'll make sure and look for it too.
Okay, leave your question again, Filth. Thank you very much, brother. I guess you're into rock, which I appreciate. Funny story, I've got my youngest into Ozzy Osbourne, and she loves Crazy Train. I love it. She's 7, so it's awesome. Okay. 36 crazy fists. Oh, here, can we paint our rods? Some we have are so dorky looking we don't take them out. That was Mag023. No, I wouldn't recommend painting your rods. It might mess with like the sensitivity and stuff. Like I said, it would be hard to seal too, like unless you're doing a custom rod thing. Let's see. Okay, let's get to a couple more questions. We had Flex Seal. Okay, so I'm getting the Flex Seal stuff. People were talking about the Flex Seal. Filth talking about.
Somebody had asked for Debo to bark at the moon.
I do love some bark at the moon. I saw this boat in half. Yeah.
Oh, wait, there it is. It's all good. I just asked when we can expect a master class from me.
Yeah, dude, we need to do a jig fishing video. Dizzle giving the down low on jig fishing tips, tricks. We need to do that. Let's get that done. So I've actually, Filth, that's a good point. I was looking back on, I never used to pay any attention to YouTube analytics. And apparently this is a thing that all YouTubers do where they go into their YouTube videos. You can look at analytics to see like your best performing videos. I didn't start doing that until like a few months ago. I know what a scrub I am. But I noticed like my top 5 videos are people who want to see more like instructional type things. So I want to do a couple of those. Yes. A couple of those before the year. One of those will be including, because I've got so many questions on it, jig fishing and stuff. So Filth, we will make that happen. I will rope Randy into doing an instructional like that with me, and then a couple other things. So jig fishing 101, everything you want to know from a couple bank nerds who like to talk about fishing, right?
Heck yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for asking that. I did see another donation coming. You guys are too damn kind. I did see this one quick. Thoughts on Lama Glass rods? I've actually never used a Lama Glass rod.
So I'm like 97% sure my St. Croix that broke during that one video was a glass rod, right?
No, Lama Glass is the like brand.
No, well, I'm just saying the Avid X, I believe, is a glass blank, correct? No, maybe?
I don't know. I would guess probably a composite. I don't think that was a full glass rod.
So the thing about it is, I mean, that's my train of thought anyway, is I'm not gentle. Does that make sense? I don't want to necessarily have to.
We don't baby our gear. Yeah.
Right.
we're not ridiculously like rough on it. We're not out doing like a torture test, but
Right,
I'm not
yeah.
going to keep it like wrapped in bubble wrap. And like, we don't have, $80,000 boats with rod lockers that we can store all more stuff in. Like, we're bank fishing, we're taking it in our truck. I feel like we put a good test on our gear.
Yeah, definitely. And I, personally, there's been times where I've, gone to, thrown a rod in the passenger seat and it's caught the headrest on the driver's seat. And you're like, "Eee, that just bent real bad." And it turns out fine. And then other times you don't come across that. So
Yep.
honestly, I want something that growing up, my dad always taught me, if you're going to get a truck, you're going to use a truck for what a truck is meant for. That's the
100%.
way I think about any type of gear that I get. I'm never going to use and abuse it, but I'm going to use it for what it was meant for.
Yep, I agree. Jonathan with the donation. Jonathan, thank you. Have you guys had any luck in the heat? We are going on week 2 of 100-degree days. What techniques for hot weather? We're not that hot yet here in Iowa. However, we did have some of that weather last year. We have that here in Iowa. Periodically we'll have 100-degree weeks, couple weeks. My biggest thing when it gets that hot, early morning and late evening, when the temperature is still cool and rising in the morning, you've got shade. Fish are going to be more active, or late at night when the sun's going down, things are starting to cool. That's when all the aquatic life is going to, come to life. If it's super hot and you're trying to fish, during the middle of the day, they're probably going to be really tight to cover, generally in deeper water where it's cooler.
Tight to cover.
Yep. Like we talked about before, anywhere you can find where there's more oxygenated water. So where there's water churning. So like if you have like we have spots where overflows and stuff will come in, like
spillways.
Yeah, not necessarily a spillway, but like, you might have a creek channel coming in where the water's churning and moving, whereas the rest of the lake might just be, kind of stagnant, regular water. Creek channels coming in, churning the water, moving water, or we talked about before, green, good vegetation in your lake. Those are good spots.
100%.
Hopefully
yep. And honestly, what was it? I think it was this week last year or 2 years ago, we were out on your dad's boat and we were throwing the big topwater, like not pencil baits. What are those called? Walking baits. And we destroyed them. I mean, granted, it was 99.9% dinks, but you caught that slab, that Haas out there, and it was middle of the day. It had to have been
95 degrees
that day. Yeah, super humid.
It was rough. My guy Bass Geek in the house. Hank is a super good guy. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, very similar to mine. Tips, tricks, good fishing. He fishes from a boat a lot too, so make sure you check out Hank. The Bass Geek is a great guy. Technique face off. So I have my guy who actually just won. Technique face off. Debo versus Dizzle.
Oh.
I'm gonna take my face off. Awesome movie, by the way. Dude, Nicolas Cage gets hated on a lot.
Okay, movie. He's not. No, never mind.
Oh, so you're gonna fall into the regular mainstream.
Oh my God! Look over there.
What everybody else says, just fall in line with it. No, Nicolas Cage, Gone in 60 Seconds, Face
Great
Off.
movie.
He's had some good movies. 8mm, awesome movie.
Oh my God! When was the last time you watched Con Air though? That was on TV the other day, and
awesome
I watched
movie.
it.
He's had a bunch of good movies.
Do you want to see him? Oh my God! Go back and watch it and tell me that his Southern guy
doesn't matter.
Was realistic whatsoever.
Okay, we're gonna have to start another
mullet.
We're gonna have to start another channel. Just stop there. I'm gonna stop you. Another channel. Jamfish Taco. It won't be Technique Face Off. It will be Technique working together, trying to give as much info as we can. We're not experts, but we will try to help you all as much as we can. My guy
and
Paul.
Don't cross my line.
Pepperoni Paul in the house. I think he actually just donated too. Paul with the donation. Paul, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate you. Paul is part of the Burley Fishing Channel. He and Mr. Burley himself have a channel. Go check out those guys. Awesome. They do their lives. Good people. Good people are hard to find. Him, like I was talking about, Bass Geek. Both good people. Make sure you check out their channels. What else? Okay, let's do one more question. We're at an hour 40. I can't believe this. On the night before, we still have people talking about Ozzy.
There was a whole Nick Cage. There was a whole Nick Cage.
Oh yeah, Raising Arizona. Raising Arizona was good too.
That's a great movie. Yes,
dude, so many good ones. Yeah, Paul actually just had. Well, Paul himself didn't. His wife had a baby. Congrats to both of them. Ghost Rider,
baby, it's a boy.
Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage. Okay,
I tried giving you out there with Bob. I had a baby. It's a boy, but not too many people remember when I
Coneheads. Probably Coneheads. Okay, Paul. Paul's going to be the last question. Craziest buzzbait trailer. I wouldn't say the craziest buzzbait trailer, but what I would say is try a buzzbait that doesn't have a skirt. So usually you'll find them in like the Buzz Frogs. I've had really good luck with a buzzbait with like a paddle tail, like the Reaction Innovations Skinny Dipper on it, or even just like a regular frog on there.
Strike King makes the one that comes with a frog specifically.
Yep, War Eagle makes one.
Skirt.
I've got a War Eagle one. There's a few places that make them, but I would say try a Buzz Frog or a Buzz Paddle Tail in place of your skirted buzzbait. I feel like they get bit harder, so you don't have to have like the trailer hook. It's something I've experimented with. I've actually got a video coming up where I use a regular skirted buzzbait with a little bit different trailer. And this is also a trailer people run naked. So without the skirt, they just put this trailer on. I know, getting kind of risque, but all right. Do you see anything else, Randall? Hopefully we hit all the questions. You guys and gals are too damn cool. Anything else? Anything else? Just no.
I mean, The
Rock. Yeah, The Rock. Another awesome movie. Love The Rock.
No, if you're gonna say it, you have to like fully Sean Connery it up and say The Rock.
Sean Connery, The Rock. No, okay, here we go. What's the best Sean Connery movie ever?
It's
minus his James Bond days. Those are out because those are all awesome. Sean Connery's James Bond was awesome.
What are you gonna say? You're gonna say like Red? What was it? Not Red Dawn. Red
October.
Red October. The Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, no, not The Hunt for Red October. Good movie. I do like that movie. That wasn't it though.
When are we gonna start the random movie talk?
We need to start another random movie talk channel. I feel like that would be a ton of fun. We disagree on a bunch of stuff. It'd be fun because we battle about it.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yep, that was it. I was waiting to see if anybody was.
What was not
Raiders.
With the Crystal Skull? It wasn't
Actually,
terrible.
It wasn't Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was
Last Crusade.
Last Crusade. There we go. Yeah, Last Crusade. Raiders of the Lost Ark was the first one. Last Crusade was my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're getting out of here. We have digressed into talking about Indiana Jones movies, which happen to be some of my favorite out there. Randall, thank you so much for joining me for an hour and 45 minutes tonight. It flew. Guys, gals, everybody who watched, appreciate you all. Love you all so much. Winners, make sure you get in contact with me either on Instagram or on email. I'll hook you up. We've got extra stuff. My guy Fat Boy Fishing, if he doesn't throw stuff in, I've got a whole bunch of extra stuff to throw in. I want to make it good for you all. You all were too damn kind tonight. So,
he's only sending two jigs. I think he said 2 jigs.
Randall's gonna put his hands on the other ones. All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching, and until